Namaskar. A very warm welcome once again to all of you. And I come back to the same topic which we were discussing before in the previous video. And that was related to the idea of CBSE having board examination twice a year. And as I spoke to you in the previous video that there are around 65, rather more than 65 boards across India, then why CBSE is only taking this initiative? Why not other boards? So I think the reason is because this board caters to large number of students and large number of schools across India and even outside. So they are in a better position to get an idea, the feedback from a larger group of people, different group of people across the country. Whereas if we do it only for state boards, then it would be affecting or be giving some idea about that particular region only. So while I was trying to understand this more, I would like to share one very interesting figure that when I was looking for, because I did my 12th class from UP board Allahabad. So as on today, I mean, if I'm talking of 23, 24, like March 23, when the examinations were held for boards across the country by different state boards and CBSE, ICSE, etc. The total number of students who appeared in UP board this year in 10th and 12th, that is 23-24 academic session, that was around 50 lakhs. Whereas in CBSE, the total number of students who appeared was 38 lakhs. So in UP board, there were 12 lakh more children who appeared in the board. So would it have been a better idea of implementing or trying to implement it in UP board, or it would be a good idea for CBSE? I don't know. I mean, I can't say much about that. But anyway, as I thought that as it is the board where the central government can directly convey the wishes or the changes which they want to implement, and CBSE would do that. It may not be so if the state board or state government says no. Hence, it is easier for the union government to really try implementing certain changes in the CBSE. Now, before I get into the objectives, the region which I have read, because there is not much of explanation in public domain. Hence, I would like first to talk about how is CBSE conducting examination as of now, today. I mean, look at this, the Herculean task CBSE is undertaking in today's time. I don't know how many of you would be knowing that 88 subjects are examined in class 10th, and 120 subjects are evaluated or examined in class 12th. Can you believe? In an examination, CBSE have to set up 4,000 question papers and around 2 lakh questions, approximately. It may not be the exact figure. I took this figure from one of the reports which was published in Hindustan Times on some particular date when I had gone through it. And can you believe, every year the evaluators who are from CBSE affiliate schools only, they evaluate in every examination of 10th and 12th 2.5 crore answer sheets. It's a huge number. 2.5 crore answer sheets are evaluated by the teachers for one examination, which is nowadays conducted in the month of, starting from 15th February and goes up to first week of April. Now, the time duration, if we all know it, that practical examinations start in the first week of January. And these go on till maybe first week of February, and then from 15th February the board theory examinations start, and this continues till, as I told you, the first week of April. So it's of approximately 50 days. The schools will have to spend, either they will be the center of the school, or their teachers would be as the invigilators, or the principals and vice principals will be as center superintendents and observers, etc., etc., etc. So a large number of human resource is involved in that. And then another 15 to 20 days are spent by the teachers in evaluating the answer sheets, and then the result is prepared by the board, and then of course is declared by first or second week of May. So if I go by the number, and then see what happens, it's not only that the result has been declared, then after that CBSE, I mean the schools are also involved in that, then the candidates can get their the result verified, and then they can go for evaluation, and that is done, and then supplementary examination is conducted in second week of July every year. So when CBSE thought of, based on NEP and NCF, of having examination twice a year, the basic objectives were considered as to be that it will ease out, and every time some changes in examination system takes place or in the curriculum takes place, the first thing which is usually mentioned is to reduce the stress of the children. And I have got a question mark put in front of that always. It's not that I don't want that the children should not be stress-free, but at the same time, the purpose of education, the purpose of examination, to reducing the stress, I mean, has got to be thought or rethought. That's my opinion. And the second is that holistic assessment will take place, and they consider as there will be improvement in the score of the children. Now, while they talk about it, I mean, very recent report in one of the newspapers, it's just an information which has leaked out. I mean, there's nothing which I can really confirm based on some source. I also read it in the newspaper that in the month of June they can conduct an improvement examination, and all those children who are wanting to do better, or those who felt like in March, April examination they couldn't perform very well, so they would be given an opportunity to do so in the month of June, along with the supplementary examination or whatever it is. Now the idea is, they say that June would be okay, and CBSE would be able to conduct it not with much of a difficulty, because the number of students who would be appearing for the improvement may not be more than 3 to 4%. This is what the expectation is. But before this news came in the newspaper, what was talked about is that this examination will be twice a year. One would be in the month of November, another will be in the month of March, as it happens today, and the children would be allowed to opt for both they can appear in both the examinations, or they can opt only for one. If somebody had done, I mean, this is also what I read somewhere, that if they have done fairly well in the month of November, the result is good, they may opt out of the second examination. So that time there was a question raised by everyone, that if a child has done, because the syllabus in the first term exam would be so small in comparison to what they have in the final examination. So if the children have done very well in their first term and they don't want to appear in the second term, would they study? Would they study for the second term? Would they be that serious as they would be otherwise if they have to appear in both the examinations? So it was suggested that time that the children should not be given an option of not appearing in the second one, but they should appear in both the examinations, and then of course either you take the average of the two or you take the best out of the two. So that would be okay if it is to be done twice a year. But my question would be that the NTA, which is conducting the examination for JEE and other examinations like NEET, etc., forgetting about what the issues are, but the pattern of the examination. So they used to have it once first, and then it was made twice, like in the first week of January, and then maybe in the month of May, depending upon when the board examinations of different students from different states were getting over. Now and the idea was that the students are under a lot of stress, hence they should be given another opportunity also. So I don't know whether a survey or research has been done or not, whether it has increased the stress of the children, or it has reduced the stress of the children, or the stress remains the same. So has there been any study done based on that? And while I'm talking to you about this, I would remember that when I was trying to understand the examination pattern, I'm now particularly talking of examination, I'm not talking of learning, because most of the time in this country, examinations are the only thing which are talked about. Learning somewhere remains at the background. Here, when it comes to changes in the board system also, there it is more focus on the examination pattern, twice or once, number of questions, multiple choice type, or what type of questions, how many sets. I mean, we talk more about that and lesser about how the teaching should be done there in the classroom, what should be the learning patterns of the students in the classroom. So that remains. It's not that we don't do it, we do it, but that goes somewhere in the background, and the forefront is taken by the examination. So I found that the Finland is one country which is talked about a lot about the quality of education. And can you believe there are no examinations there on? And when I tried to see many other countries, I could not find many countries. Rather, it was very limited number of countries where examination was conducted twice or thrice, that way by the board. I mean, internally by schools, it is done. That's a different issue. First term, second term, whatever it is, pre-board, etc., etc. But by boards, I didn't find many. So I'm not saying that if others are not doing, we should not do it. We should do it, but if it is benefiting us. So I remember one particular story here, and that perhaps would make my question and my answer clear to everyone. And the story goes like this: that there is somebody who is wanting to see whether I'm gaining weight after doing some exercise or eating something extra or not. Many of the household in today's time, they are, I mean, everybody is very health conscious, and they try to have a weighing machine at home. So if you go early in the morning and are on the weighing machine and looking for a particular number, and when I say particular number, that number is the weight, ideal weight which you want to have for yourself. And if the needle of the machine, if it is an old one, not the digital one, is much more than what you were looking for, you get little stressed. And if you get little stressed, what do? You start going to a gym, you start doing some exercises, and you do it. And then again check whether the needle has come towards that particular number which you really were looking for as your weight. Similarly, when it comes to examination, so in examination also, at a particular age, in a particular standard, we try to find out whether the learning has taken place up to that level which is expected at that age or in that particular grade. And we know that the question patterns are like this, the examination is like this, so that we come to know whether we have reached that or we are away from that. If we are away from that, then we will work harder, we'll try to find out what the problem was, we'll improve upon that, and when next year once again we appear in the examination, we are likely to understand better that we have either improved or we are there itself or there is some other problem. So examination is very, very important. So I would not ever dispute the importance of the examination. It is must. But I go back to the same example where I said, if I start looking at my weight every day, I get up early in the morning, which I did in the recent past. When I go early in the morning, I get up early in the morning, go to weighing machine and look at the weight, and I don't find any change. Do I get stressed more? I get happier. I went to gym for 2 hours yesterday, and when I see in the next day morning, I find the weight the same. I get stressed further. And that stress will not help me. And if I continuously do exercise, I try my level best, and I don't improve, so I get stressed. So every day watching my weight doesn't work. So what I should do, I should continue trying to reduce the weight, those exercises which will take care of my weight. And then after maybe 10 days, maybe a week, maybe 15 days, I must check whether I have reduced the weight or not. And then further work upon what did I do, should I do it differently, should I change my eating habits and all that. Similarly, having examinations so often, does it necessarily improve the learning of the children? Not really. As only seeing or checking the weight every day on weighing machine will not reduce the weight. What would reduce the weight? Weight will be reduced only by the exercises, your eating habits. That only will reduce the weight. Weighing machine can only check whether the weight has been reduced or it has not been reduced. Similarly, examination can only check whether you have reached that level or you have not reached that level. That reaching to that level will depend upon the teaching learning methodology, that amount of hard work which I am putting in as a student and as a teacher. That will help me. So I don't know whether having examination twice a year will help improving or not improving. Score would improve. And to say that stress will reduce, I have a doubt on this. And if I have to learn, and even if it is a little under stress, because having absolutely stress free doesn't make any sense. I have to have a little stress to really be achieving something greater in life. And look at the student, look at the people who are working in corporate in today's time. Not only in corporate, talk to the people who are in government service also. I mean, too much of a work doesn't really, and they're stressed, but they're still working and they're creating wonders. They're producing wonderful results. And that too, even that is too more when they have little more stress. So stress, as I said before also in one of my videos, should not always be taken with negative connotation. It's a bad. Too much of stress, too much of everything is bad. Hence, we must make sure that the examination is conducted in free and fair manner, and before that the teachers and children are given ample time and opportunity to learn, to really do away with the weaknesses they had based on what the examination was conducted. And as I told in the beginning to you, that how much Herculean task it is for CBSE. 88 subjects, and that number of subjects increasing every day, because we are adding skill subjects, we are adding vocational subjects, and many children are opting for that. So 2.5 crore answer sheets being checked in every examination. If it is twice a year, it will be 5 crores and would increase. If there are only 4,000 question papers being set up today, 8,000 would be set up. If there are 2 lakh questions being selected today, 4 lakh questions will be selected. So look at that. I mean, I'm not saying that it should not be done only because the time will increase, but definitely as the number of days spent by the teachers in evaluating the answer sheets, conducting the examination, another examination will take the same number of, will it not decrease the number of learning days? And as I told before, that examination is important, but then learning is more important. So think about it seriously, and I might come up with a few more suggestions to the concerned people by talking to teachers and parents in my next video. So I would like you to think about it seriously. Examinations very important, but how often, what should be the frequency? That is to be seen and judged very, very carefully. Does more number of exam increase the stress, decrease the stress? Please see on the ground level. Sitting at one place would not be, or one school or one principal or 10 principals would not be able to make the difference. It is the entire, this is a heterogeneous group of people being affected by any decision taken by CBSE. So we are good to, I mean, I would always appreciate the efforts being made by everyone in ministry and by CBSE officials and the principals and teachers all around. But at the same time, we should be careful that our efforts should not go waste, rather should be better and beneficial for the education in standards and quality of education in our country. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. May God bless us all for doing well for our children. Thank you.